Lesson 6, Part 3, where you're going to learn how to take a templated project from After Effects and use it in Premiere. Go ahead and in your Land School folder, you're going to find a file. I gotta find where I put it in my computer first. Virtual Studio. You're going to find a file called Lower Thirds. I think it's for Rebel Report. Take that file and bring it into your Lesson 6 folder. It's a Premiere project that's already been built that you're going to utilize, especially for those that go onto the Rebel Report, but you can also utilize it for the rest of the semester in class. So we're going to go ahead and open this Lower Third for Rebel Report After Effects project, and it's going to come with everything in it already pre-made, and we're just going to tweak it for our own uses. Many times on the news show, I have students who will be creating a video for the show, and they have a person they're interviewing, and maybe we want to put a name bar in of who that person is in the interview, and maybe what they do in the second line. Could also be for my reporters. Such and such a student, Rebel Report reporter. Of the various projects that might exist in your template that you have, we're going to use the one that is lower third with 2 title bars. I believe you also have a lower third with 1, but I'm going to double click on the lower third with 2 title bars, and that brings up a pre-made composition that has this graphic built in already, which is essentially a main bar and a secondary bar. Let me get rid of this extra text layer. What is interesting here is that it's a little different than things you've seen in the past. Instead of having exact files in here, I have compositions that are inside of a composition. This lower thirds 2 title bars only has more compositions in it. For example, the text for the secondary bar, if I double click and open, I can change this text. The lower third title, which is the main title, I can click and change that title. Or even the bars, top bar or bottom bar. These all open up as separate compositions. Now I don't really care about changing the bars. I like using the purple and white, which is our school colors. I'm going to close all these. So let's say in this main comp we want to change the secondary text and the main title. For giggles, I'm just going to do this as pretend it's a baseball piece, and I'm going to show my favorite player, Derek Jeter, who is, I know, retired, but this would work for my project here. I'm going to take the main title, which is the lower third title, and open it. If I double click on the text, I can have it highlighted and say Derek Jeter number 2. And then I'll close that. And in this lower third, you'll now see that title is in there. Let's change the secondary text. Double click to highlight all of it. Shortstop, New York Yankees. Of course, if you want to do your own favorite player, you can, but to make this lesson happen, I'm just going to use this. Now, what's nice about an animated, pre-made lower thirds title, which is used again at the bottom of news or entertainment show pieces, is that it's animated already, and I just had to change the title. So the bars come out, the titles slide into place, and you'll notice there's even these cool little lights that move around while the bar is on the screen. And then at the end, it fades off and the bars pull out. This is a 30-second comp, much longer than normal, but that's fine. It covers usage in many videos this way. Now, remember, if I want to export a video from After Effects and have a transparent background, I have to do a special kind of export. So I'm going to click in my comp and hit Control M on my keyboard. I'm going to choose lossless first and make sure it's AVI. Again, this is only because we want a transparent background. If we were doing a composition that had, a full video in it with no transparency, then I usually would choose H.264. But AVI is where we'll stay. The video output channels can't just be RGB. You have to add the alpha, which will give us the transparency. I hit OK and render. It'll take a little bit to render this out because it's a more complex animation, especially with the lighting that is going along the bars. As you can see, this export takes a little while, which is why most of my teams on the Rebel Report work in pairs at least, so one person could be editing a video while the other person creates the needed title bars for anybody that's being presented on their piece. Alright, so I'm going to minimize my After Effects, and I'm going to reopen up your Premiere project that you did for Lesson 6 Part 2 called Title Practice. I'm going to use this to show you how this works. Okay, so now I've got this Premiere project from last time. I think I need a second timeline, which you can add a new, I think it's sequence, or is it file, new sequence. You can also simply hit Control N, choose a 1080p 30 timeline. So now I've got this timeline ready. I'm going to get a picture of Derek Jeter real quick, since that's what I'm making, and if you used a different player you can get yours, but going to Google makes it easy to find images quickly. Okay, I'll go to image. Remember, the higher the resolution, the better the picture will be. Let's find one that's fairly high res. They're all similar. I'll use this one. Don't copy or save this. You have to go to view the image to get the highest res possible. Right click and save picture. I'm going to save it to my Lesson 6 folder. Derek Jeter, save. Okay, now I can go back and import this into Premiere. So I'm going to double click, find the Derek Jeter image, bring it in, drop the image down here, make it a lot larger. And now I'm going to import the lower thirds title we just exported out of After Effects. Remember, you called it what did we call it? I'm not sure where I put it. Did I not pay attention to that? No, I didn't name it right, and it's called South Lower Third 2 Title Bars Only. So I will go get that title. There it is. And bring the video in, and when I place it over the top of Derek, make Derek a little larger. The lower third comes in, and what's nice is that this is an adjustable position. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, not the picture, the title bar. Okay, and now it will animate in, and it will be see-through to see your image. Now this was a 30-second title, so obviously it would end short if I had, say a 8 or 5 second image up, so I could cut that off and simply have this be there. Now, this was an exported video from Lesson 6 Part 2. You know that you can also bring the After Effects title in. So check out how this might be beneficial for this particular project. I'd like you to double click and find your lower third for Rebel Report's After Effects project, and then bring that in and choose the correct composition. I used the one with 2 title bars, and if you put that in, you then get the same item. I'm going to unlink and get rid of the audio. I can trim it back, but it will run just like the video would. But the benefit here is if I make changes, let's say I had 3 baseball players. Derek Jeter's here. I have another baseball player here, and I want to bring a name out for that, and then I have another person, or maybe it's 3 people that you interview for a Rebel Report piece. It could be a bar for your name that goes out, and then you use a bar for the person you interview. Well, you might realize if I go into After Effects and I make a change to this project, let's say, whoops, I want to do the lower thirds title. Let's say I have a different person I need a title bar for, the second person on the piece. Let's say it's me, or you can use your name. Now I could go through exporting this, which would give me a new file with a new name on it, correct? So that means in Premiere, I would have the Derek Jeter, and then I could import the one that said Rich Cole after I exported it. But when it's inside of a project, here's where a disadvantage is. It changes that composition, so now this no longer says Derek Jeter over Derek Jeter. It has my name on it. That's a problem because I can't then use more than one composition from this After Effects in my Premiere. I would end up having my names changed for each person that needed a title bar. So actually, for title bars like this, it's better to export individually each and every name you need for your video piece so that they stay put, even though you might go back and create a new one and export to bring in, and then you'd have many titles that you could use that were all permanent names, not one that's changeable from the project because it is connected straight to After Effects. So that's something worth considering. Generally for the news show pieces, we will use exporting the RGB plus alpha videos so that we can use as many titles as we want. But if you only need one title, then you could also consider just bringing in the project straight from After Effects. Alright, that's the end of lesson 6 part 3. Make sure you save this Premiere with both of these items in, because I'm going to check your part 2 title and your part 3 title as a grade. So save, and we'll see you for lesson 7.